man. What are you doing?
Manual labor. Dude, we had probably like 40 people write in after the past 2 videos wanting to see the house, like asking questions. So I figured we would do a tour of the house and do like an MTV Cribs style video.
I think the only logical way to do this is like a rapper.
I'm going to talk like a rapper the entire time. If you'd like me to talk like I normally talk, which is rapper-ish, then I'll begin immediately upon this shoot.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Consider it done.
Following you.
Let the rapping talk begin. Come on in.
So you got to give me a bunch of attitude on this.
Can I repeatedly ask you if you know what I'm saying? Because you might forget what I'm saying, and I need you to know what I'm saying. I'll show you the bedroom first. It's clearly where the magic happens. And by magic, I literally mean I perform lots of exciting magic tricks for my wife. See there? Whoever came up with this idea is the very best, because you've got a urinal. My only complaint is if they'd made it a little closer, you could have just alternated. This is where we kind of do most of our living. This is the formal dining room, and this is where we eat formally. Like, you know, we put on tuxes and stuff, you know what I'm saying? I got one on under this shirt. A client of mine gave me a lot of these fancy wines. Couldn't drink them all at once, mix them up with some 7-Up, make some sham pipple. This, I'm not trying to show off or anything, but I can lift this right here probably 5-6 times. This is my, this is my movie theater. Dude, that's pretty much all I watch. Yeah. Dora, that's how I roll. So this is it, we spend a lot of time in here with the movies and what have you. Okay, listen, dude, seriously. You said you were gonna have that headline finished, and I'm up in here trying to do a launch, and what do you got, the trains and the Jeeps and everything? I gotta pay the bills up in here. This is the game room, this is my son's office. A lot of TVs in this house. We really, for the record, don't watch this much television. This came with the house. And these are my car whips. This is my G-Wagon.
They're called whips.
No, they're called car whips.
Whips.
Yeah, these are my car whips. Everyone knows they're called car whips. This is the kidmobile that we carry our kids in. We actually have TVs in there. If you want to maintain nonstop Dora the Explorer, you can. And yeah, I know, you might be thinking, hey, what in the hell is this guy showing me his house for? Like, I give a damn, right? Well, there's a reason for all of this. And the reason I've made this video is I want to help you overcome a very limiting belief that you might have. See, the entire house you saw, including a house by the beach that I haven't shown you, including all of the lifestyle that I've ever managed to live and all the good stuff I've managed to experience as a result of business, well, it's all a result of what you're going to see in this room. And frankly, this room is very underwhelming. This entire business is run off of this coffee table, which I've had forever. I used to use an IKEA desk, but it didn't fit well in this room, so I got this little coffee table here, and it's run off of this little iMac. And what's funny is up until about 3 days ago, it was run from this laptop. I've had this laptop since 2011, but my son, Sasha, who I think you met a minute ago, kind of had enough of me bossing him around about those headlines and knocked it off the damn desk onto this stone floor here, and it gave up on me. So I replaced it with this. So the big secret to really getting the most leverage and the most sales and the most profit out of your business without having lots of equipment, without having to sell as much stuff, and without having a huge staff or a huge team, in other words, the big secret to being able to do a lot with a little, lies in something called behavioral dynamic response marketing. I know that's kind of a long name. I couldn't think of anything exciting to call it, because that's really what it is. And what I want to do for you right now is take you to the computer and really show you exactly how this works, show you a process map, show you a blueprint, and walk you through exactly how you can deploy and start testing this new type of marketing methodology in your business starting today. So let's head on over here to the computer and get to work. So let's talk about this behavioral dynamic response marketing. I know that's such a serious sounding title. Actually, this is really, really cool. Basically what this means is gone are the days of the one-size-fits-all marketing where we have one marketing message and we just try to make everybody respond to that marketing message, because that's just silly, right? The bigger your list gets, the more different headspaces your subscribers are going to be in. So we are going to adjust the marketing messages that we send to our prospects based on what they do, based on what they indicate they're interested in. So let's take it all the way back to how you build your list in the first place, right? Because there's really a lot to this that can help you and really increase your business. So if you remember in the last video, I gave you an example, and in that example, we were in the business of helping people make more sales, right? And we also had competition. So what does most competition do? They do what everybody else does. Well, what does everybody else do? Well, they start with some traffic, and then if they're in the business of how to help people make more sales, they'll send that traffic to an opt-in page, and that opt-in page says, free report reveals how to make more sales. And then people will opt in, and they'll be on their list, right? Totally normal thing to do, because ultimately they and you and me, we're all in this business of helping people solve the problem of low sales. But if you remember from our last video, you and I took like an extra 10 seconds of work and we dug a little deeper, and we realized that this problem of low sales is really a symptom. And it's a symptom of underlying problems that are causing the low sales. Problems like poor conversion, like no list, like no traffic, like no follow-up. So here's what we do. When we start building the list in the first place, instead of just having an old free report that reveals how to get more sales, right? We're going to create something called a money magnet. And a money magnet is a small tidbit of very specialized information that helps your prospect overcome each and every one of these problems that are leading to the big symptom of low sales. So we're going to have a money magnet that's called 5 Easy Ways to Increase Traffic Fast, right? Because low traffic was one of the problems that caused the symptom of low sales. We're also going to create one that's called 10 Simple Tricks for Higher Conversion. And we might make another one called 3 Quick Ways to Double Your List to solve that problem of no list. And then we might make one that's called 5 Follow-Up Methods that work like crazy. Now, if you just stop right there, what we've done, assuming now that everything remains constant, that you're going to get the same amount of traffic to each one of these money magnets that you would get if you just had one, and you get the same opt-in rate and everything, just by expanding the scope of the money magnets we put into the marketplace, we're able to get up to 400% more leads just by taking that extra step. But check this out. That is just the tiny, tiny tip of the iceberg, because there are 5 specific web pages that you can get to attract leads. And when you use all 5 of these for each money magnet, in our case where we had 4 money magnets times 5 different types of web pages for each money magnet, you have 20 times more list getting power than your competition. Let me illustrate it for you, because this is a little bit weird. All right. So your competition and everybody else under the sun starts out with the same old free report reveals how to make more sales, right? In this particular example. And then they send some traffic to it, and then the people opt in and they join the list. Well, that's great. They had one money magnet and one type of opt-in page that got people to opt in. And you know what? That's been working forever. People have been doing it forever, and a lot of people made a lot of money doing that. But why do what everybody else does when we could do so much better, help so many more people, and ultimately make more sales? So here's what you and I are going to do, okay? We're going to start with Money Magnet 1. We're going to create that, and we'll remember that was the one about traffic, and we'll make the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So now we have 4 money magnets, but check this out. Each money magnet has 5 different types of web pages where people can opt in to get it. So for Money Magnet 1, we'll have page 1, page type 2, page type 3, 4, and 5. We'll do the same thing. And so page type 1 sending traffic to opt in for Money Magnet 1, and page 2 is getting leads, and page 3 is getting leads for Money Magnet 1, page 4 is getting leads, page 5 is getting leads, and then we do it all again for Money Magnets 2 and 3 and 4, and all these different web pages, these 5 different web pages for each money magnet are sending leads into your funnel. Now check this out. We've got all these things are coming in, they're all generating leads, and where's it all going? Where are all these leads going from all of these money magnets? They're going into one big ass list, your list, right? So if you look at this, we have 4 different money magnets, and each one is dedicated to the specific problem that is causing that symptom of low sales. Each money magnet has 5 different types of web pages that can get subscribers, and they're all going into your big list. If you do the math here, if everything remains constant, this is literally giving you 20 times more list getting exposure into your marketplace than what your competition has. Now, as cool as that is, I know that there might be something on your mind, so I want you to stop for a minute. I realize that this appears complicated and that it looks like a lot of work, but it's actually Super easy. See, here's the thing. Those lead magnets, those aren't like long, detailed, drawn-out reports like something you'd have to write in high school and dread and pull your hair out. Instead, they're laser-focused core tidbits of information that almost instantly help guide the prospect towards solving that very specific problem that's messing them up. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to create them yourself. And 2 of my most recent $1 million+ campaigns, I actually had someone else create mine for you. And in fact, you can even get someone else to create yours for you, all for peanuts. And by the way, remember those 5 different types of web pages I told you about? Dude, I'm definitely not suggesting that you go out and learn how to do web pages. See, the 5 different types of web pages that you're going to use with each money magnet, those are all templates. So there's no special software to install or anything like that. You can literally press a few buttons and bam, your site's up and running and you're getting leads. As a matter of fact, you know all the opt-in pages that I use for this particular campaign that you're watching now? You might remember these. You probably saw them. The one where I showed the video on how to create a buying frenzy and people could opt in, and the one where I showed the swipe file and stuff and the early bird list, all these pages. You see how cool looking those are? I made each of those myself in about 5 minutes based on these templates. There's no software to install. It's all web-based. You can do it from any computer in the world, no matter what type of computer, no matter what operating system, as long as you're on the internet, right? So I just want you to know, as a side note, this isn't hard to do at all. This is like mindlessly simple. It's button clicking. So now that we've amplified your list getting power by up to 20 times with this one method alone, now it's time to really put all of this on steroids. Now it's time to turn those leads into sales fast. So remember last video when I told you about how we trigger internal decisions and why that's the most powerful buying methodology that we can use because people decide on their own that we're awesome? If you'll recall, I kind of gave you that little technique where we identified where your prospects are and where they want to be, and then we kind of we created milestones and identified milestones that they had to go through to get there. And I actually gave you that example of where we were teaching people how to write copy. So the red illustrates where they're not writing very good copy, and the green's where they want to be with good copy, and we identified that, okay, well, milestone number 1, we need to teach them how to write a headline, and then we're going to teach them how to create a subhead, and then we'll teach them how to create an opening, and then we'll teach them how to create bullet points, and then we'll teach them how to create a guarantee. And every time we do this, their desire and their trust in us and their trust in themselves, every time they consume one of these little pieces of cool content, all that stuff just escalates and it makes them want to buy more and more and more because we're genuinely helping them. We're using that 3rd level of influence I told you about in the last video, right? Where we demonstrate that we can help them. That is the most influential behavior we can do. So it looked kind of like this, right? We create a video about how to do headlines. We create one about how to do subheads. We create one about how to do opens. We create one how to do bullets. We create one about how to do a guarantee. And then all of that stuff would point to our sales page. So I showed you this in the last video. I'm just kind of giving you a refresher. Now, the name for this is called a goodwill campaign. But I want to show you something. I promised I would teach you how to put all of this stuff on steroids, right? So I'm going to give you a ninja alert. Instead of just doing one of those, we're going to have up to 4 of those going all at the very same time, because you remember we created 4 different money magnets. Well, we can create a goodwill campaign around each one of those money magnets. And no, by the way, we don't need 4 different lists at all. We're definitely not going to do anything that complicated. That would be a major pain in the ass. It would take forever. Instead, we're going to do it the unbelievably cool way that could virtually blast your sales into the stratosphere. I know that sounds like an infomercial, but man, you've got to check this out because this is the greatest thing ever. So let's say that, like, you know, everyone has opted into your list and now it's a Monday and we got 100% of your list, and we're going to say, okay, we want to help these people, we want to do cool stuff, and we want to sell some stuff. So on Monday, we're going to send them an email, and instead of the old buy my stuff email that everyone else does, we're going to deploy that first goodwill campaign that we talked about. So we're going to send them to a little email, and it's going to say, hey, Bob, I made this video for you to help you get your conversions a little bit higher. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to write killer headlines. And I hope you enjoy it. Boom. That's the whole email. Nothing unfriendly, no high pressure, no hype, just you being super cool, demonstrating that you can help them by actually helping them 100% in the 3rd level of influence, the one that works so well. Well, what happens? Well, let's say we go back there the next day and we realize that 3% of your list clicked on that video and now they're watching it. So here's what we're going to do, all right? We're going to take that 3% and we're going to just kind of stop sending them anything else, and instead they're now into, we'll call it conversion world. So what's going to happen to just that little 3% of your list is, by the sheer virtue of clicking to watch that video, they were removed from the general population of your list, and they were placed into this little sub-campaign, placed in their own individual little goodwill campaign. So on Monday, they got the video about headlines, and now on Tuesday, automatically, they're going to get the video about subheads, and on Wednesday, they're going to get the one about cool opens, and on Thursday, they're going to get the one about bullet points. Friday, they're going to get the one about the guarantee, and every single one of these videos, they're all helping them, they're all being cool, and they're all ultimately sending people to the sales page. And if you recall, in the last video, I gave you some cool hypnotic language patterns that you can transition from your content into your sale with, right? So we know that's going for us. That's great. So here we are now the next day, right? It's Tuesday. Now remember, we got 3% of our list. They're off in conversion land. They're off in that little world. They're getting that dynamic goodwill campaign that's all about conversion. But we got 97% of the list that didn't click on anything. So now it's Tuesday. Well, what are we going to do? Well, your competitors, of course, will go, hey, man, go buy my stuff, right? But we're not going to do that because we're awesome. So instead, we're going to go to that 97%. We're going to say, hey, Bob, I just made this cool video for you. It shows you how to increase your traffic so you can ultimately sell more stuff. It'll play for you automatically, and you can watch it here. I hope you enjoy it. That's all we're saying. Nothing obnoxious, nothing uncool, no hype, not pushing anything down their throat, just giving them exactly what they asked us for, which is good, helpful, genuinely awesome information that can help them get the results in advance that they're looking for, so they'll like us and trust us and buy our stuff, right? So what happens? Well, we go back on Wednesday and we check our stats and we realize, hot diggity, we got 3% of our list is over there in conversion land, so now they're getting conversion videos, or, they're getting the one about headlines and all that kind of stuff. And now 8% of our list clicked on the traffic video. So they're getting a video, let's say the first one on that Tuesday is about Facebook, right? So they got the one about Facebook, and then on Wednesday they're getting one about AdWords, and on Thursday they're getting one about native ads, and on Friday they're getting one about display ads, and so forth and so on, right? And every single one of these does what? Where does it go? Points to your sales page. You got it, right? So now here it is. It's still Wednesday morning, and we've got 89% of your list that hasn't clicked anything yet. Well, of course, your list, your competitors rather, they're going to be going, hey man, buy my stuff. And they're going to be hammering these guys with all sorts of BS hype and crap, or they're going to be sending them affiliate offers all the time or whatever. Not you. You're going to be awesome. You're going to be the guy that they all grow to absolutely love and buy from repeatedly, because what are we going to do? We're not going to shove any hype down their throat. We're going to say, hey, Bob, I just made this cool video for you about list building, and it shows you a great way to really start escalating the amount of subscribers that you're getting as fast as humanly possible, and it'll play for you automatically here, and I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think. See you later. Bye. Nothing uncool, no hype, no pressure, just straight up good old-fashioned golden rule marketing, treating them exactly how you would want someone to treat you, right? You can never, ever go wrong doing that. Like our grandmothers were right. Like, don't you remember your grandmother always said, remember the golden rule? Well, she said it because it's like the truth. It's right. So here it is the next day, all right? Now, we've got 5% of your guys are out there and they're in that traffic one, right? And then we have the original 3% and they're in the conversion one. And now this new 5% of people, what are they doing? Well, they're over here and they're clicking on the other stuff. So you got your 3% and they've already gotten a video about headlines. They got one about subheads. They got one about opens. And now they're just now getting the one about bullets. And tomorrow they're going to get one about the guarantee, and then you got the guys who clicked on the traffic thing, and that 5% of those guys. So the first one was about Facebook, and then the one was about AdWords, and now they're getting one about native ads, and then they're going to get one about display. And now check it out, we have another 5% that clicked on your list building video. So now they're going to get a video the next day about how to do, let's say, lead magnets, right? And the next day after that is going to be how to title your lead magnets so you get the best conversion on your opt-in pages. And speaking of opt-in pages, the next video is going to be about how to have a good layout and what layouts convert the best. And the next video is going to be how to have good copy on your opt-in page so you increase your conversion, right? So all of these things, here's what's cool. Now guess where all of these things point? Every single one of these videos point. You remember? Oh, of course. They all go to the sales page. But check this out. Now, if you think about this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different pieces of awesome content right now, all being simultaneously deployed to multiple parts of your list based on what they specifically behaviorally responded to. And each and every single one of these things points back to your sales page. So just this little tiny bit alone that we just did, where your competition just sending the same sales message over and over again, we got 14 different ones all being deployed at the same time. Perfect message to market match based on exactly what they responded to. This is 14 different simultaneous times that you are presenting your marketplace with your sales pitch. So what do you think? One sales message deployed over and over again until they just want to kill you, or 14 different kinds strategically deployed automatically based on exactly what they, by their very own behavior, demonstrated that they want to know about. Well, clearly this is the way that's obviously unbelievably better to use, right? Not only from a sales perspective, but just from an overall being genuinely, generally helpful and awesome to your prospects. And of course, the more you help them, the more they're going to want to buy from you. That's just human nature, right? So the title for all this, the term that you use for this particular methodology is called dynamic goodwill stacking, right? And I came up with that name there, but that's essentially what we're doing. We're dynamically stacking goodwill campaigns one on top of the other and triggering them to different parts of your list all at the same time based on what your list behaviorally tells you by the very fact that they're clicking on your email message, tells you that they're interested in. So it is literally like going into a room full of hungry people going, hey, anyone want some hamburgers? And all the guys who raise their hand for hamburgers, you give them hamburgers. And then the next day you go, hey, does anyone want some hot dogs? And all the guys who raise their hand for hot dogs, now they're getting hot dogs. It's the same thing, right? It's really, really cool. And the best thing is, it doesn't require any fancy software. You don't have to have like 10 different lists. It's all one list, right? This just triggers a different campaign to be deployed whenever they click. You can do it in Aweber with this little thing called Aweber Pro Tools. You can do it in Infusionsoft. It really doesn't matter what type of CRM you use as long as you do this. That's what's important, because I can almost virtually guarantee you without a shadow of a doubt your competition's not doing it. And your prospects are going to freak out. They're going to love it because it's like you're reading their mind, right? But as cool as this is, you got to know something. This is just one method that you can use to create sales and make your list love you. You're getting 11 more in mass conversion. And I know we're getting pretty close to when mass conversion enrollment opens up. So let's talk about mass conversion for just a minute. And no, I'm not going to turn this into a sales pitch. Essentially, there are 3 pillars of mass conversion. First thing we're going to do, like I showed you really early in this video, we're going to build a responsive list of people who think you're awesome. And we're going to go way outside of the normal way of doing that. We're going to do it a million times cooler. And like I just showed you, we're going to do it potentially 20 times more effectively than what everybody else does. So I think with all that going for us, it's going to be pretty easy to build an awesome list. But that's not all we're going to do. Then, through that methodology I showed you in video 2 and many, many others, as a matter of fact, dynamic goodwill stacking plus 11 more methods, we're going to systematically and predictably convert these people into customers, not through any complicated, difficult stuff, but through smart, strategic deployment of cool stuff like what I just showed you, plus, if you feel like getting carried away, 11 more cool things that are even better than this that you can also deploy into your system. And finally, our final pillar of this is we're going to systematically and predictably convert those customers into long-term, high-ticket repeat buyers. And here's the deal. This is what really, really sets mass conversion apart, as if we haven't already demonstrated this dramatically different from anything else you're going to see. See, the thing about mass conversion, and what I really, really want to help you do, is create marketing materials that all are surrounded by, kind of wrapped around this overall 4 principles, these 4 guiding elements of all marketing.